lives and the lives of their family members and in the lives of their community. It's great to be in this space because we know that y'all have like-minded missions. And so it's awesome to be able to take some time out to collaborate, discuss, and I'm really excited about today's topic around first-gen college retention. Just a little bit more about Study Smart Tutors. We have a team of educators, some first-gen ourselves, several education professionals. We provide services from SAT, ACT prep, to tutoring, to social emotional learning, to writing labs, and really that product line, if you will, is expanding by the day. We partner with several charter schools, several grant-based programs, several public schools now across the nation and outside of the nation as well. So it has been quite the experience, especially this past year. With us today are Hulya and Jon. I'll let them quickly introduce themselves. Jon, do you want to go first?
Yeah, hi, thank you, Jordan. Hi, everyone. My name is Jon Lego. I'm the Associate Director of Curriculum for Study Smart Tutors, former educator, taught social studies in Los Angeles for about 10 years, and happy to be here with you all.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Hulya Odabas. I am the Director of Education. I'm a former school counselor. Super excited to be here. I want to express it. Cannot express enough. I know how many Zoom that you are in, how many meetings that you have to go through. Again, that might be your lunchtime, but we just promise this is going to be a fun and excited, hopefully about a 45 minutes to an hour, and looking forward to listen to your input to today's session.
Yeah, and last, I'm Jordan. I'm the Associate Director of Instruction with Study Smart Tutors. Prior to this, I served as a math teacher, teaching middle school and high school math in California. All right, for today, here's some ways that you can interact with us. So the chat is always open and available. Think of that as your stream for today. So anything that you want to dialogue, anything you want to communicate, you can chat with other attendees via the chat box. The Q&A button is a little bit different in that, think of it as your parking lot, right? These are the questions that you want answered as we go through our presentation today, something that comes to mind. Jon and I will do our best to facilitate the Q&A. Sometimes we'll answer them via text in that Q&A box, or we might pass that over to our presenter, Hulya, and she can answer in real time as well. We'll also save the last, I think, 10 minutes, Hulya, 10 to 15 minutes today, to do some live Q&A where we can open up our mics and chat as well. Okay. So for your do now, we have a quick poll getting you involved and engaged right out of the gate. So today, let us know, what is your role? What is your role? Once you are done with that, you can open up your chat box. And share where you're dialing in from today. Where are you joining from? So in the you would hit all attendees. You can put where you're joining from. So Cesar joining from LA, college counselor. Natasha, Texas, my goodness, awesome. Nancy from LA. Columbus in the house. Northridge, Fort Worth, Texas, Monterey, Marina, California, Santa Clara, San Diego. Welcome. All right, South Carolina, East Coast. Welcome, Nicole.
I see Utah on the chat. That's awesome.
Love it. Fantastic. It's joining in from across the country. This is great. We're excited to be partnering with y'all today. Here's the results of our quick poll. Just so you get a sense of who's in the room, we've got some school administrators, some counselors, some directors, some mentor and advisors. Awesome, awesome. Now for another fun little icebreaker before we dive into this topic, which can be a little bit heavy. It's going to be informative. There's going to be a lot of data that comes to light here, but we want to start out on a kind of a light note. You know, in the community of the chat, now that we know where we're from and the organizations that we represent, let's share out something positive. What's brought you joy recently? What good things have happened to you? Feel free to add. Feel free to add that to the chat. Something that's brought you joy.
Woohoo, awesome. Coffee, family time, children's laughing, sunny days. Many people agree with coffee. I'll go with the same thing. Dogs barking, yeah. Going for a walk brought the joy. Beautiful. Being home with the cat. Netflix, we can argue with that one. Board games with family, beautiful. Spending a year closer to my 1-year-old due to pandemic, work from home. Yoo-hoo for that one. And Johnny is nodding because he is with you on that boat. He just become a father recently. Awesome. Bought a gym, playing chess. This is fantastic.
Well, thank you all for sharing some positivity, spreading the good news. Good to hear so many things that are happening that we can reflect and appreciate. I think it's important to take that time out and think about the things that are good.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all participating in that. All right, and with that said, I'm going to pass it over to Hulya, and we're going to start our conversation.
Awesome. Thank you again. I am super excited to talk about this topic with you. This is not a passion only to me, but I know many of you. What I'm hoping today is to talk about the data. Maybe it's going to be boring a little bit. I'm going to make sure it's not going to be super boring. We have the data scientist in the room. Jordan is doing his master in data science. So he gave me good ideas not to make it super boring, but I think it's important for us to see what's in the big picture, because I know we all know there is the problem with the students' college retention, and here to talk about it and hopefully walk away from this webinar with tangible solution, what you can do in your own setting, in your own institution with your own students. So we'll definitely identify and analyze the obstacle underrepresented minority students are experiencing. And again, I am going to point out more research than ever before. We'll explore and review the resources. And then we'll talk about it at the end. What will be the solution? So basically what I am going to try to do here, what is the problem? Let's see the numbers. What has been done and working? Again, let's check the research and let's review. And then what can you do? Those three things, it's my goal for today, that you can be learning from this 1 hour. Now we'll start with the problem. Not super exciting problem, not super hopeful problem. And I did share with my team, probably last 2 weeks, I feel really depressed seeing these numbers again. I feel emotionally down, going all the data, and they are super helpful and supportive, but this is what we have right now. The problem is not the college enrollment anymore. We are seeing a good number. the students are enrolling the colleges, it has been rising from the 63% in 2009, and last 18 years, it goes up almost to 70% right now, which is not a bad number when we compare the before. However, what we are seeing as a problem is the low-income students. It's only the 11% of the students who are earning bachelor's degree with 6 years versus the 58% of the students coming from the highest income group. I'm not talking about the race or ethnicity yet, but just with the income, only the 11% of the students could make it. They graduated even in the 6 years, not even the 4 years. So this is a problem, and that what we're gonna see the numbers and hopefully again talk it today. When we dip this problem, we already see this is the income percentage for students that graduating from the college. The issue most acute among Black and Hispanic, where the college enrollment rates keep rising, but the success rate, which is the college graduation in 4 years, are barely better than the flat. Our research shows, and this is the National Center for Education Statistics, they drop out before earning degrees. The overall college graduation figures reveal the imbalance. Just only 14% of Black adults and 11% of the Hispanic adults holds bachelor degree versus the 20% of the whites. I've been in the spaces, I heard, oh, this is what it is, or, oh, is it a news for you? It just makes me extremely upset, the acceptance of this imbalanced number. And yes, this is the number, this is the data, but we are in the space, we are in the places with those statistics. That's the word that I used to say my students while I was doing high school counseling. We are here to beat this statistic. But again, we cannot ignore what's happening and what's out there. What I'm going to show you again, that might look a little, hope you like the statistic. I hope you enjoy seeing the numbers, but I'm going to make a case here for you to really, when I'm presenting, think about your own students or your own institution with your own program. This is the recent data from the Clarence House. They are checking for the student persistence and retention. One thing that I want to make sure that you know the difference between the persistence versus retention. Persistence rate is measured by the students who return to college at any institution. Maybe they started, but they continue from the other college, versus retention means students will go back the same college in their sophomore year. So this is the difference between persistence and retention. First one is, again, this is the data for the whole institution, regardless of the public, private, nonprofit, 2-year, or any institution data that shows us what is the persistence and retention. Again, in this one, we are not seeing any ethnicity or any other things. Of the 3.5 million students enrolling in college for the first time in fall 2017, 74% or 2.6 million students persisted as of fall 2018. Not that bad, huh? When you check the number, 74% persist. That's not a bad number when we think about it. But the problem will come again when we check the next slide. And I see on the chat, the slides are a little bit slower. Hopefully this is not going to be that much. I'll try to summarize that small slides for you, but this is when we see the breakdown, first year persistence retention by race and ethnicity. There's the overall number, and you can see the rates from the breakdown when we check the ethnicity among the students who for the first time entered the college in fall 2017. Asian has had the highest persistence rate, which is 84.7%. And then the Black student had the lowest persistence rate, which is 66.2%. Just over half of the Black students returned to the starting institution, which is 52.1%. And again, this is the problem that we cannot ignore. Even we accept that, yeah, there's a problem with our first-gen students. Yeah, there's a problem with the minority students continuing to college. The number is huge and alarming, and it's real. What I want to do now is to break down the institution. This is what I show it. It's for the whole institution again. What I want you to now is to break down quickly for each institution that you can see the number. And while I'm doing it, I want you to think about your own institution, your own program. How many of my students are choosing to go to public school? How many of my students have an option even apply to private school? How many of my students going to two-year colleges? Or how many of my students will be going to private school, for-profit versus nonprofit? And what the heck is the difference between the private nonprofit versus private profit school? When you see the number, you'll see the why we need to think about it now. It's something that I really need all of us attention to this. This is the TwoYear Public institution. They are doing a good job. And when it comes to the retention, again, you can see there's the number, it's 82.7%. However, it's only a 0.4% up from the previous year. And it's only a 0.2% from the last 10 years. More problem comes up when we click and see the next slide again. This is a TwoYear Public institution, persistence rate by race and ethnicity. We have the same order again, nothing different than the general one. Asian had the highest first-year retention rate with 82.3%, returning the starting institution in fall 18, and also high persistence rate with a 90.1% returning to any institution in fall 18. White student had the highest share continue college in fall 18 at an institution other than starting institution. And that will follow the Hispanic and Black students percentage. This is the TwoYear Public. When we switch the private nonprofit institution, and I highlight the nonprofit for you because it's a new finding for me to see that, well, actually private institution doing a way better job when it comes to the persistence and retention for the students, as they are in higher on the 92%. And then when it comes to, again, their race and ethnicity, they doing a better job than the public school. I am not favor to any colleges, either the TwoYear, either the public, private, or the TwoYear. I think we all know that as the educators in the room, it's the idea of finding the right fit for the students, but giving them an option for students to have it. When you are seeing this number, my hope and my goal is to think again, how many options my students have when they're applying to colleges. Is even applying a private nonprofit institution is on the table. Is this a culture in my program to talk about the other institution other than the state school or whichever the popular in your area? And is it important for you to have that culture in your program? Okay, I am going faster than I hoped. So the one thing that I want to show you, it's a surprise. For profit, I don't know what is the reason. I did not do a research about this, but it shows that they have a really low retention rates when it comes, if it is a private but for-profit institution. I thought it's really worth to share this finding, because again, what's happening between the for-profit versus the non-profit institution? They have a retention for the 80-something% versus the 50-something%. This is data. Again, this is coming from the clearinghouse. It's a reliable data, and it's something for us to be cautious about it, or again, talk about it. What is it not working for our students? Here comes the two-year public institution. Again, when we need to layer up, it's the for-year profit, four-year nonprofit, public school 4-year, two-year public school, and then the private for-profit school. It's the 70% when we compare the 83% versus still low. And one more time, this rank, it's not changing from the Asian student, white, Hispanic, and Black. As you can see, there's only 42% retention rate when it comes to the students in the two-year public school institution. It basically means you are sending 100 students in a two-year public institution. Among the 100, only 42 of them continue the next year. 58 of the students drop out already in their second year. I hope it's not really boring with the data, but again, it's important for you to see what is the difference and think about it one more time. I want to talk about it a little bit about my research and my why. It's, I am an immigrant. I came to the country 19 years ago from Turkey. This is the picture. The year that summer I graduated from college. I was 21 years old and graduated with the chemistry degree. In a household, it's the single motherhood. Here, all my older sisters in the picture. It looks old, but happy, I guess. My why is this in this place. That right now I'm in my doctoral program in Korea. I am researching what is helping our students to stay at the college and helping them to graduate from the college. As a first gen, we'll talk about their characteristic, their struggle, and what we can do in our space, literally tangible actions. We'll share some practice, but this shows only my family, my sister, but we as the SSD and our team, John, Jordan here, have the same passion about our students, and that's what Jordan's interest when we talk about not only going to college, but through college. This is our goal, this is our mission and passion to help in the communities to make sure they are graduating the school they just entered. I will be researching college students. Our team will send a follow-up email, adding my research survey for you to share with your own students. I will be extremely happy and grateful if you can share this with the students so I can have more voice in my research. I think it's been 2 weeks. We pushed the survey out. Great comeback. But again, my idea is hopefully I'll receive more, that I can be the voice for the others. More students' voice, more students' input will make the research more rich. Let's talk about a little bit the first-gen student profile. Research shows when they compare their peers from college-educated family, first-gen student obviously had the less family and social support when it comes to the college. I really want to make the distinguish that why I put my mother pictures in here, because my mother don't have the college degree, let alone the high school degree. And her vision really helped her daughter to go to overseas, learn the language, do the doctoral degree, and it's obviously a huge support there. But when it comes to the college, they are going to have the less support. Higher level of stress they are experiencing when they compare, more likely to come from low socioeconomic background. They interact with peers less, and there might be many reasons of this. They're more likely to live off campus, more work hours, access to fewer supportive resources. I'm not saying they have less supportive resources, but they may access fewer than their counterparts. They receive less academic preparation during high school and more likely to drop off the college after their first year, as we see on those charts. This is the circle that comes from my lit review. I probably read 250 articles for this dissertation. I found what I'm trying to look from the research is what really helping our students. What do they need so they can finish the college? What is helping them not to finish? And then we'll share a little story, but I see in the research, higher level math absolutely is helping. Having access to AP classes, it's helping, but it's not helpful as much as what I find it. And when you check the circle, look what you see. I see counselor, mentor, family member, college professor looks like me, help me to retain at the college, summer beach program, and after school enrichment. When I check this, I don't see a calculus. Again, I'm not dismissing calculus importance, but it's not big as much as the others. I don't see a dual enrollment classes. What I see here, connection, having a support system. And I think it's not a news for you, but it's really interesting for me to doing the lit review, writing the hundreds page of the chapters. But I see it's really a connection. Human, genuine connection will help our students, regardless of how bad their math was or how bad their science was in high school. They can be able to pull up if they have this. This is the framework that I'm working on. I don't know if any of you are familiar. It's called Tintos Model. That basically what it says, the goals lead to motivation and motivation lead to persistence. Again, I want to say it and I want you to think, take a second to think in your programming on your students. Do they have the goal? And when we are seeing the goal, do they have the options on those goals? That goal will help them to motivate, and that motivation will take them to persistence. This is, again, the theory that Tinto find it, done it, run it. So I'm going to base on this one, perception of curriculum, sense of belonging, and self-efficacy will help to motivation. I am sure, again, those are not new words for you, but it makes me really confident to say this is the research finding, and I think it's time for us to do something intentional when it comes to the college retention. Building a sense of belonging, it's the one thing, again, when we talk about it, and how we can do it in our practice, it's the help the students connect with the early programs, summer bridge program, summer enrichment program, help the community building with residence hall, academic support services. I think many of us they pick there as the mentor and supportive faculty and mentors. They should be in the place, they should be in the spaces. And having them option, again, it could be the study abroad, service learning programs, high impact educational practice will help our students to enhance their sense of belonging. If they don't feel they belong, what is the next thing they will do? They will not come back, or they will try some other institution. And this is, again, the things that we can do. I put Brené Brown quote in there. She is a wonderful researcher about the vulnerability and shame. And then that's what her quote say, we hardwire for connection. It's what gives the purpose and meaning to our lives. The absence of love, belonging, and connection always leads to suffering. Again, we don't need the AP Cal to be successful. I mean, we do, but this is not our topic. Jordan is shaking hand because he's a math teacher. We do, but our students can do without AP Cal. That's the whole my point here. And without the connection, it's gonna lead to suffering. So what we're gonna do, if we don't have the breakout room, but we are gonna push the Mentimeter question. And I want you to take a moment, maybe a minute or so. What data do you need and you currently don't have that could help in design and implementation of strategies to increase college retention and graduation among first-generation college students? Jordan pushed the link for Mentimeter. When you click, that will ask you the same question. I'll give us 45 seconds to think and respond. And then that's how we're gonna learn from each other too. I'll go switch my screen. Perfect, it's coming in. What data do you need but you don't have? Love it. Learn more about their struggles. Perfect, love this. What factors contribute college students successfully transferring from 2-year to 4-year? What's happening between there? Family support, socioeconomic status, level of motivation and drive. Love this. There's more researcher in the room. Let's do the qualitative data, focus group, interview. Beautiful. Early alerts, how students are doing classes. You don't get the data until students already failed the courses. Wonderful. What are the red flags? We don't need to see them fail. How we can reach them out earlier. Beautiful. Are they higher persistence and retention rates various institution? What are the services are they offering differently? And what makes them really good with the private school versus the four-year public school? And how does it look like in my own student? Maybe it's not the data that you have it in your students. Real understanding of parent engagement in students' education. Do they have a voice? How much your students will listen to their parents when it comes to the college education? Bad thing or not bad thing? Any data around study in executive function skills and college retention. This is beautiful. My sister, not older one, but this is her doctoral research they're happy to share. It's the executive functioning skills and the students' success, not necessarily the college retention, but beautiful. The support that college access support provide the students, what does that look like? Would that be enough giving the financial literacy workshop? What is the follow-up look like? Impact of distance learning on rural students. Great, thank you for putting out there. Exactly. Student voice, are we really hearing their voice? What are they asking? What do they need? I love that. Who is gonna advocate for the counselor to student ratio? The same thing, the staff to student ratio. How do we make the impact or the connection if we have the 900 kids ratio? It's the California ratio for school counselor. 940 to 1 counselor currently in California's counselor to student ratio. Beautiful. And again, I think those are perfect question, perfect response, and we'll be sharing with you when we are following up this question. I think it is a good start point to talk about it in your programming. What do I need that I don't have? And I think it is really time to check the data and go with the data. I think we way pass over what works for me, or my story will be the same for my own students or my own child's story. It cannot be happening anymore. What works for the one program could work for me. We cannot have this conversation anymore. It's great to have the best practice for sure, but it's really important that we have the focus group for your own programming, because each one of us have their own challenges. Utah challenges might be different than the Long Beach. Not saying one to another, but it will look so much different one to another. And it is time for us to check our data and go from there. Awesome. Thank you so much for participating this question. I'll go back, and now from this point, we already have the data, talk about it, what does it look like, and we'll do more storytelling from this point on. I want to make sure that what is the resource out there, and then also to do some storytelling. This is the one. It's from the research. It's not coming from my research. I'm excited to share mine. But this is from other research that we ask, what is the culture of interaction among first-generation college students? Jon will read for us.
Yeah. I think there is a big conversation around making it. I think there's a lot of pressure because everyone is sort of looking to you as an example to break the educational chain that may be on the family. But at the same time, they are also happy with anything you do because there's no exceptions. There are no exceptions. I would say I put more pressure on myself than my family putting pressure on me. Shay.
And I think this image is a little bit expressing what Shay is feeling. When we are the cheerleaders, which is a good thing, great thing, how does it impact our students?
Okay. As first-generation college students, we don't get too much guidance from back home about how we should act in college. So a lot of our decisions are based off our peers or upperclassmen that we meet. We don't have a lot of the support from our parents about things, so we have to make decisions for ourselves and do what others are doing, instead of having someone already tell us what we should be doing in order to succeed. Jon.
College students, first gen, and this is their voice. And it's really interesting to read for me that his expectation is somebody needs to tell me what I should do because my parents are not telling me. Versus, and hopefully it's in our practice, in our school, in our institution, it's not really what we do. We don't tell students what to do. Again, we don't reflect our own story to make it their story, but we'll ask questions. We'll listen their voice. We'll create a safe space for them to share their struggle with us, and then help them find the right answer for themselves. Couple of resources. I don't know how many of you know this, Better Make a Room. It's the initiative. It started in 2014 by Michelle Obama. It first started for the help the schools and counselor. Then they realized that, oh, it's not our target group. So they shifted and make it more fun to help young people to see college as an option. There are great videos, great resources, great, not only for counselor again, but for the school. They talk about the why college, because you deserve to realize your potential, because your dreams are in your grasp, because the country needs you, because the world needs you, and college can help you to get there. Better Make a Room is here to cheer them on, help you out, and connect them with the others sharing the journey. Again, it might work for your institution, it might not, but this is a great one to share for you to look up. There is a program called Up Next. It's a texting tool. Your students sign up and there's real people texting the students. It is time to apply this. How do you do it? I think I sign up as a fake student, and I really love how they responded when I was in the high school. Again, with the Better Make Room, college signing day, it's something that I practiced while I was doing high school counseling. There's a little pizza on the bottom. You know, it always has to be the foods to make sure the students are buying it. What we build the culture is every single senior, regardless of their choice of the higher education, could be the military, could be the 2-year, 4-year private public. They will sit up on this senior college signing day, and then they will talk about their plan for after school, after high school. And when you build that culture, it's become an expectation. Those people who are sitting in the room, they were waiting their turn. Oh, darn, I am only 10th grader, but in 2 years, I will be on that stage. So we are setting up the culture that everybody will share their plan, and it will make them accountable with their plan after high school. Again, that could be, I remember we have the students who choose to go to military, and then we ask a bunch of questions to that person. The other one, again, I'm sharing my practice that what we do, alumni senior Thanksgiving lunch and dinner. What's happening? They go to college, right? Their first year, excited. On the fall, before they fall apart, I will have them come back and offer a nice, good Thanksgiving dinner and have them meet with the seniors. And that place, not only seniors asking a bunch of questions to them, but also I'm checking with the alumni in their first semester, not too long. From the August, they leave the school, or the June, and they will come back by the November to check in with them, with us. And this is a practice from coming from the high school counselor, but I am challenging you to think, what would it look like on your practice? Again, I think everybody can say I think I have a crush on Michelle Obama somehow. And I think I confessed to my husband, so we are good to make it public here. Her initial, again, they started the first year college. There's a video that we put it up. It's a wonderful, I'll let her listen to her voice for a minute. Can you hear?
No audio. Yes.
You cannot hear, of course. Sorry about that. We gotta do. There you go. Here we are.
When my dad dropped me off at college, I remember feeling overwhelmed. And I have a feeling that some of you might know what I'm talking about. You're not the only ones. That's why I'm so glad that my Reach Higher initiative has teamed up with YouTube Originals and Now This to create a crash course on how to succeed in the months ahead. They're going to teach you everything from how to manage your time and money to the importance of finding a mentor and peers to help you along the way. You'll hear from experts and recent grads about personal wellness and terms and concepts that will be helpful to know during class. And most importantly, it'll help you take advantage of all those skills that you already have, the skills you've gained by overcoming obstacles on your path to today. I can't wait to see what you do in the years ahead.
Again, wonderful initiative, good program. It's resource out there. I think it's important just for us to connect our students with this resource. This is new. They just started this year because of after the pandemic, and then their hashtag is beating the loneliness, a year of first. It's reality. Again, they are feeling the loneliness. They are struggling. They were already struggling, and COVID just put more pressure on that. Learning during the pandemic, what they do in it really different is they are sharing the 4 stories first year college students named Robert, Lynette, Regan, and Hasib. real students, real stories, and they are sharing what they are experiencing in the places. I think, again, it's so important to connect our students with what they have. So my question to you again with the Multimeter, I only shared the alumni panel, senior panel, college sign-in day. What can you do on your campus program to promote college retention? What will be the things that you could do? Again, click the same Multimeter and go ahead and take a minute. And I'll talk about the tough situation role play. That's the research is saying that helping students and putting in a play role before it happens. So what I used to do in my counseling office, when student had a struggle and they need to talk with the teacher, that student needs to ask the teacher if they can accept the late work, but scared to ask. I'll do practice with them and I'll play the naughty teacher, which is not necessarily the old time. When they ask, can I return it? I'll make the play with them. And they have a problem with the financial aid office, I'll play the tough cookie admission officer or the front lady, and then I will run the scenario with them. Could that be something in your practice? Could the students know they are not going to be super helpful and mentor and maybe counselor when they go to college? And how we can prep them in. Okay, I am going. Okay. Let's push in. What is the one strategy you will implement to support the first generation students? You don't have access for it, or everybody left already that I don't know?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Alumni success stories, beautiful. Love that. Build a near peer mentor program. Regular meetings, yay. College career networking connection, senior weekend to prepare them first year and beyond. Include them in planning, getting them access to meeting committees. Ask students. I know it sounds simple, but how important it is. What specifically they need. Alumni connection, share experience, that resource helped me. Beautiful alumni event. I see a lot of them, beautiful. Oh, thank you for saying that. Systemic and policy reform. We can definitely do better one at a time. You see alumni connections. Encourage older to check in with youngers, exploring options for the right fit. Beautiful. Highlight student success stories in our TRIO program newsletter. Exactly, that's what I share and excited about the Better Maker Room. How wonderful those stories are. Fantastic. Again, we'll share these results with you on the PowerPoint. You'll be able to go back and check and do what you need to do for your own programming. I see dual enrollments. Exactly. Awesome. We only have about a 6 minute or so. What I want to wrap up in this meeting is I want you to meet with Beth Miller, that I come across her story I was researching, I get connected with her. Probably not different than many of us. If you are the first gen, try the first time, didn't work. Do the second time, was in the swimming team, and then struggle in the one class, ask the professor to help for the office hour. And then I recall that he marked a typo in my email. I felt ashamed and I quit. I'm not blaming that professor, but this is a story that our students are expressing. Try this third time, this time worked hard, ask help. But more importantly, that I want to point it out from her story is feeling vulnerable. This is the real feeling from me and from many of the first-gen students are feeling. They are going to feel vulnerable. And my question is, being able to feel vulnerable and be able to share that vulnerability as a program, as a person, as an educator, as an advocate, are we allowing them to fail in our programming when they are with us? Are we allowing them to make a mistake and reflect on their emotion? Are we allowing them space for them to make mistakes? Or are we correcting them right away? Or telling them what to do? Asking them what they need to do? Are we allowing them to be vulnerable? And in a leader in that room, in a mentor, advisor, again, the counselor, are you sharing your vulnerable moments with them? Are we helping them process that feeling? What does vulnerable feeling looks like? How does it sit in on me? If we can able to achieve that, I think our success rate will be so much. And you may think, this is not my job. This is the parent's job or somebody else's job. But I want to challenge you and say, if it is not ours, whose job is this in that place? The last thing that we want to say, you can put up on the chat if you like to. What is the one strategy after listening this 1 hour during your wonderful time, and really appreciate it? What is the one strategy you will implement? You don't need to share it, but I really want you to walk away from this webinar with the idea, I got this, I think I have an idea, and I'm going to work on the implementation to support my first-gen students in college retention. This is our Study Smart partnership team. They will follow up, again, sharing all the recording, the PowerPoint, all the video, the notes on the bottom. Happy to have you this and share with your old colleagues, friends. We'll share my survey. Would love to have you to share with your own college students. We are here to help. We are so grateful for you that you join with us. Happy to answer any question. If you like to be on the mic, we can give you a voice to be on the mic, and you can ask your question. Other than that, it's so wonderful to have you in the space. Appreciate your time, appreciate your advocacy, and thank you for being in the field and helping and supporting the students and changing the world. Awesome, thank you.
Thanks for being here, everyone. We'll stick around for a little bit longer if you want to hang out.